What's new for 2020?
This is the MikeDJKelly Podcast.
Sound excited.
This is the Mike Kelly Podcast.
Mike Kelly.
Tally ho, here we go. 2020 chugging on, and here we are with the loopy leap year February podcast. The month is named after the Latin word februarum, which means purification. Together with January, it was the last of the months added to the Roman calendar. February is the second month of the year in the Julian and Gregorian calendar, with 28 days in common years and 29 days in leap years. With the quadrennial 29th day being called the leap day, it is the first of 5 months to have fewer than 31 days and the only one to have fewer than 30 days. So what happens in a leap year? The big one is women propose to their men. According to an old Irish legend or possibly history, St. Bridget struck a deal with St. Patrick to allow women to propose to men. I would have thought in this day and age, men or women can propose to whoever they want, whenever they want. So here it is, time for the latest new, improved, bigger and better, shorter than short, shabby MikeDJKelly podcast show, which we insist you should tell your friends about.
On this week's podcast,
Climb on board as we leap into another action-packed audio adventure for the strange month that comes around every 4 years with 29 days. Coming up, competitions, radio, TV, church bells, Oscars, Soggy Biscuits, Red Dwarf, Tetleys, House of Lords, Blueberries, and a whole lot more.
this is the shorter than short Mike Kelly Podcast.
What's this then? Bing bong bells at the time of writing? If this was in my younger life, Tuesday night was bell ringing practice at St. Michael's from 7 until 8 p.m. Nothing else could be heard except for bells. These days you never hear bells, not even on a Sunday. But what's this? Boris wants to bring on the Brexit bongs to celebrate our release from the constraints of Europe by paying £500,000 to speed up the repairs of Big Ben. My advice, save the money and just say Big Ben chimed. Nobody outside London will know anything about it. Listened to a bit of BBC Radio Leeds last night, but turned it off when the latest Harry Styles record came on. When I returned today at approximately the same time, a day later, they were just starting to play the same Harry Styles record. Exit stage left and went to Union Jack Radio, only to hear this gag. Taking Viagra won't make you James Bond, but it will make you Roger Moore. Nothing against Harry Styles, just dislike the song. And no, I'm not one of those who says they don't make music like they used to anymore. I like The Weeknd and Blinding Lights, Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now, Tones and I, Dance Monkey, which have all been around for a while, but I think they're good songs. A new one I came across the other week was Hot Chip, Over and Over, which I can listen to well over and over. Radio station wise, just remembered the Offshore Radio app and now listening to Radio North Sea International and all those lovely jingles. I see the gambling watchdog is to ban credit cards from being used on gambling sites. That should be fun, as one of the main reasons they use credit cards is to prove you're over 18. You can only have a credit card if you are over 18. You can have a debit card at younger ages. So how will they now prove that a debit card gambler is over 18? You can do it with the use of companies like Equifax, but it's a lot more complicated. Come on, Kelly, speed up. This is the shorter than short shabby podcast show. Can't you go any quicker?
Competition time, no prizes, but who had a hit with the song containing these lines? A church house, gin house, a school house, outhouse. On highway number 19, the people keep the city clean. The lines again. A church house, gin house, a school house, outhouse. On highway number 19, the people keep the city clean. Name the song or the artiste.
A lot of holiday adverts on the TV at the moment. £60 deposit, £299 all in, and so on. Reminds me of the holiday I once took, which was in Perikia on the Greek island of Paros. Why Paros? I read in a travel guide it was so hard to get to that they made it cheap to attract tourists, so that's why I chose Paros. The holiday goes like this: flights to Athens, ferry to Paros, taxi to Perikia, and then the whole villa accommodation. This was booked through an independent travel company through a small ad in the Guardian holiday section, and it went like this. Booked and paid for the holiday, and they said I could pick up the flight tickets up on the day of travel from the rep at East Midlands Airport. Sat nervously at East Mids Airport and rep arrived with tickets. They gave me 3 more envelopes containing money, one for the taxi driver who would meet us at Athens and take us to the harbour and buy our ferry tickets to Paros. The next one contained money for the taxi driver at Paros, who met us at the ferry and drove us to the other side of the island, to Perikia, and the final envelope was to pay for our accommodation. Do you know what? It went like clockwork. Everyone was where they should be, and everything worked.
This is the Shorter Than Short MikeKelly Podcast.
I noticed that some of the Christmas biscuits have gone off. Who at McVitie's had the brainwave to replace the tin with a thin cardboard box? All biscuits now soggy and in the bin. At Aldi the other day, walked past a section with drinks on it called Just Water. I think if you want me to buy it, you'll need more than that, as I already pay £50 a month in water rates for endless amounts of water. In the Aldi mag, they are advertising their exclusive horse turnout rug at $34.99. Makes you wonder how many horsey types go to Aldi. If you want to get in touch with anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us, or if you want to send your own stories for the next episode, email cuttings or sound clips to email hello@MikeDJKelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcasts on Messenger. Competition time, guess the celebrity. Born the 7th of February 1962, he is an English stand-up comic, actor, writer and political activist and has the middle name John. He also worked as a voice actor in The Wild, Igor, The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, Cars 2, the Lego Batman movie, Abominable, and the Netflix original series Green Eggs and Ham. He had a starring role in the television series The Riches as Wayne Malloy and has appeared in Ocean's 12, Ocean 13, Mystery Men, Shadows of the Vampire, The Cat's Meow, Across the Universe, Valkyrie, and Victoria and Abdul. Who is he?
The Shorter Than Short Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
On a green note, I was thinking just how much plastic would be saved if toothpaste tubes were made out of something else. I think Euthymol is still going in its metal tubes. By chance, I was listening to a walking programme in Yorkshire where at one point they mentioned this was where the glaciers of the Aire Valley used to be 10,000 years ago. So global warming's not just a current thing. And talking of icy things, went into the food warehouse by Iceland. The queue at the till was so bloody long, any frozen products would be defrosting before you got out of the shop. And if you want to know what gives Tetleys its unique flavour, the beer, not the tea, according to a beer mat, it's the yeast types number 7 and number 9. This yeast culture has been alive since it was first fired up in 1822, making your pint nearly 200 years old. Very sad that workers at Greggs who are on universal credit will not get their full £300 bonus, as the government feels it needs to take a cut from it. It's not like £300 is that much to start with. I see that the Sunday Times did a list of the UK's biggest taxpayers. Wonder when they will do one of the biggest tax dodgers with money hidden away in offshore accounts. Mentioning Greggs makes you feel hungry. What about breakfast at Tiffany's, as in the song by Deep Blue Something? So how much would breakfast at Tiffany's on 5th Avenue in New York, as opposed to an old Mecca nightclub chain in the UK, cost? Well, it's $29 is the answer, and you do not get that much for it.
This is the Shorter Than Short MikeKelly Podcast.
Love the AA advert with Craig Charles, Danny John Jules, Chris Barry and Robert Llewellyn in this brand new AA advert featuring their characters from Red Dwarf. Do you remember in the old days you would get different reception on different mobile networks depending on whose mass was placed where? Well, no more, my friends. Now that they're all sharing mass, rubbish on one network, and the chances are the others will be the same. And talking about Huawei and 5G networks, they've been running several of our larger networks for years. The implications of using Chinese hardware was well known at the time. And on things Chinese, if you think you have the symptoms of coronavirus, you're advised to call 101. Good luck with that then. Wonder if at any stage anyone will take responsibility for the miscalculations around the HS2 project. How can you get the figures so wrong? If you want to get in touch with anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show, please use either of the following to contact us. Or if you want to send your own stories for the next episode, email cuttings or sound clips to email hello@MikeDJKelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. If you want to be alerted to future podcasts, give a wave to Mike DJ Kelly Podcast on Messenger. Today's do-gooders are musicforall.org.uk. The Music for All charity believes that everyone should have the opportunity to learn to play music. Making music changes lives, but not enough people are fortunate enough to have access to musical instruments or ways to help them learn and discover. This is where we come in. They bring free of charge learn-to-play experiences to people of all ages and backgrounds. They make grants available to address the musical needs of community music groups and educational organisations. They donate instruments and music tuition to individuals who need help. They promote the life-changing benefits of music making. They receive no government funding and are lucky to be recipients of donations from the general public. They also have the generous support of organisations from within the musical instrument industry, such as the MIA in the UK and the NAMM Foundation in the US. They're fortunate to have a wide range of musical celebrities endorsing our charity. Find out more if you want to help or need help at musicforall.org.uk.
The Shorter Than Short Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
What is it about food and travelling? Why do you need to have food and drink if you're making a journey? Why are there so many food outlets at bus, train and airport terminals? Can we not manage a 2 to 3 hour journey without some high street chain products in our hands? Wouldn't we all be a bit healthier if we left the KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, Greggs, Costa and Starbucks products behind? Plus, think of the money you would save, as they are often sold at inflated prices at travel locations. Enjoying cold feet on a Monday night at 9 p.m, still good value and funny and scary at the same time. Extra bonus one week when it started with Frankie Wilson's Do I Love You. Always have to reach for the tissues when Saving Lives at Sea is on. What a brave bunch of people. Apparently it's Oscar nomination time. I heard a film critic talking about these on the radio. The idea behind the nomination is that it sort of gives a film an extra tick for credibility and attracts bigger audiences even if it doesn't win the Oscar. A bit like a Best Broadband Supplier award. Is it true they're planning to move the House of Lords up north? I wonder where, and will it create new jobs? I've not been consulted on this, but I'm thinking Otley, Ilkley, Skipton, Saltburn or Accrington would all make a good base for all of these people. Sad news in Headingley, Rundle's the Jewellers is holding a closing down sale. They've been around longer than I have, and the Rundle Juniors were in the same class at school. Is it me? I love blueberries when they have a crunch and a sweet tart taste, but what's up at the moment? They all seem to be soft and mushy. Surely some sort of taste identifier is required on the pack so you know what type you buy. You don't have this happening with apples or grapes. Why blueberries?
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly Podcast.
If you want to get in touch with this top-rated, much-listened-to podcast, please contact email hello@MikeDJKelly.co.uk or on Twitter @MikeKellyDisco. Indeed, if you want a podcast making for your business or need any help with radio producer or presentation work, get in touch. You can always get the Mike DJ Kelly podcast by going to iTunes or Spotify and searching Mike DJ Kelly, or you could send a text to your friends and warn them about the Shorter Than Short podcast. Quotes and cuts from this show may be used, but remember all material is copyrighted to the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short Podcast Pension Fund, and money should be sent directly to me without the use of any third parties. Full UK taxes will be paid on all monies sent in brown paper envelopes and given as gifts. Okay, it's time to go. Guess the celebrity. Born the 7th of February 1962, he is an English stand-up comic, actor, writer and political activist, and has the middle name John. He's also worked as a voice actor in The Wild, Igor, The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, Cars 2, the Lego Batman movie, Abominable, and the Netflix original Green Eggs and Ham. He had a starring role in the TV series The Riches as Wayne Malloy, and has appeared in Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, Mystery Men, Shadows of the Vampire, The Cat's Meow, Across the Universe, Valkyrie, and Victoria and Abel. Who is he? Eddie Izzard. What song are these lines from? A church house, gin house, a school outhouse, on a highway, number 19. These people keep the city clean. The whole song has excellent lyrics. I'm tempted to read the whole thing, but no, just the last verse. No whiskey for sale, you can cop no bail. Salt pork and molasses is all you get in jail. They call it Nutbush, oh Nutbush, call it Nutbush City Limits by Ike and Tina Turner. That's enough for this edition of the Crazy Shorter Than Short Shabby Podcast Show. From me, Mike Kelly, thank you for listening. And remember, you can always find the podcast by searching or shouting Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
It's new for 2020.
This is the Mike DJ Kelly Podcast.
Sounding classic.
This is the Mike Kelly Podcast.
Mike Kelly.